Well, I've got this all sketched out. Now what I'm going to do next is going to get that big old masking tape again. And I'm going to tape over this masking, and I'm going to just cut out this area here that's going to be the island. And I'll show you what I'll do after that, because I don't know right now. A lot of people have been asking about this tape. I'll tell you what, I'll put it right here. So that's the address on Amazon. That's what you're going to be looking for, because it comes from Amazon. Now when I'm cutting this, I'm just kind of doing a rough cut on it. It's not like I'm cutting every little leaf and stuff. I'm just doing a rough cut on it. Because later on, all the leaves and everything on the trees, or the needles I should say, because they're pine trees, will be painted in with a brush. You can see some of this stuff here it's just not getting cut through, because I'm really lightly working on this. Because of the board that I have here, it's not the masonite that I usually paint on. It's sort of it's a sign painter's board that they use that's really, really light, and it's almost like foam. It's got a hard surface though, but there's foam in between it, and the backside is a real hard surface, a plastic surface. But it's still easy to cut through, so that's why I'm kind of careful about cutting deep. So. Alright, so this area right here, this is going to be the beach area. This is the reflection of the trees above. I'm going to try to get this without getting in there and cutting out this other area, which is going to be hard. This is the beach area right here. I can always paint this with a brush later on, so I'm not too concerned if I get it right the first time. But I do have to make sure that this tape that's underneath here is still there, right? Well, that's that. I'm just going to let that dry for a little bit, and I'll be right back. Whether I'm going to sponge it or use a brush, I haven't really decided yet, but I'm going to let this dry. Well, what I'm going to be doing today, now that I've airbrushed this base green in and I've gave it some time to dry, now I'm going to start using some sponges. So you can get these sponges at a hobby store or a hardware store, and you just break them apart into little tiny pieces like this. Or the best thing you could do is to go to Martha Stewart and get one of these, and then break that up, tear it up a little bit. I don't know what they use these for in the hobby world, but I like using these for getting in and doing some detail work. And so you just take a little bit of that. Now, you also can listen to all these big time artists, you know, like Bob Ross and Alexander and all these guys, and they got these great big gigantic palettes, you know, that you put on your arm and you walk around like, you know, like you're a big time old time artist, you know. Or you can just go to the store and get yourself a rotisserie chicken, and after you're done with the rotisserie chicken, you just wash out the container and use that for your palette. You can use this for, like, if you're doing sponge painting or pour paintings or whatever. And this is what I use usually when I do some sponge work. So I'm taking Martha Stewart, I'm going to dip it in some of this white and green and bounce it around a little bit until I find the right color. Also have some yellow ochre and some phthalo green here. Take a little bit of that. And there, if I can do this, and there, look at that, look at a pretty color. That's pretty green right there. So, and, you know, if you put a little bit of the phthalo green on one side, and a little bit of the yellow ochre, plus the green and the white that you have down in here on the other, so you got like a trinity of greens right now, see? So you can use that, and that's what I'm planning on doing. Just want to get a little bit of that paint off of there. So that's all that's to it. See, it's a waste of paint, but might be able to use this. I'd probably start another painting and use this, so I'm not wasting any paint. So that's basically all you have to do with a sponge, and I would suggest probably pulling off the masking now. You could go in there with an airbrush and work on with a real fine airbrush. Maybe I'll do that. Or you could go in there with a brush and then you could start bringing out the details of the trees. But remember, this is probably 3/4 of a mile away, a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile away out into the lake, so you're not going to see a lot of detail, but you will see the formation of trees, and that's where the darker colors will come in handy. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit more. I'll be right back, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do. Am I going to use an airbrush or am I going to use a brush?
Well, it's been many a year now.
Thank you, thank you. I hope you're not annoyed. I think I'm finished. Oh, one more thing. One more thing. Now I'm done. See you on the next painting. I hope you enjoyed this one.